Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Shadow Cast, the podcast talking about all things hidden in the shadows. I am the host, the Living Shadow, and we're about to talk about some things today. Yeah, we're going to talk about some things today. This is going to be like a sentimental episode for me because this is going to be my personal healing journey. So, yeah. Hello, hello, hello. So, this is going to be a personal one today. Part of me wants to do this because I don't want this to just be like me raving about politics and how terrible the American government is, because I think we all kind of know that by now anyway. But I do want to point out these things. I don't want people to just not know they exist either. But today I'm talking about my own personal healing journey. My healing journey. Devonairé, the Living Shadow. Healing. So sit back, because I need to light this blunt before I can get started on this one, so I can even process this. And the reason why I really want to talk about this one is because of how many different mindsets I feel like I have shifted through. For those people who care about astrology and things like that, I'm a Scorpio. Hi. I got all these signs up in me, but at my core, I identify with the Scorpion life. But yeah, so I say this to say that Scorpios are the sign of change. So there's always a lot of change. There's always a lot of growing. There's always a lot of shedding old skin. So I've constantly had to reinvent myself, constantly had to shed my skin, constantly had to become a different person. And we're all supposed to change. It's not just a Scorpio thing to change. But for me, it was so unavoidable and so unresistible. Like, a lot of people resist change. Earth signs especially will resist change. But a lot of people resist change. And to me, as someone who is like unable to do it, like, I don't understand that. So, let me just get started with, like, this is not gonna be like my entire life story, but I do want to talk to you about different mindsets I've been in. Definitely when I was younger, and I'm talking younger, I mean like pre-K, elementary school. Like, I was always a weirdo, always, always. I was doing third grade math in the first grade. Like, I've always been a smart person. I've always been really like 2 grades ahead, because I did that for math. I think I did that for science. I could have done that for English. I honestly didn't even want, like, I don't know. So many people, I'm like, being smart is a burden. I'm trying to tell y'all. People act like that's such the greatest thing, and it's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, because I do like being intelligent, but it's not like ignorance is bliss, and intelligence is infuriating, because I feel like you see the stupidity around you. Like, so mind you, I was in first grade doing third grade math. There was a couple kids doing it. I wasn't the only one, so it wasn't. I didn't feel like I was that special for doing that. To be honest, I felt like, okay, so like, this is me as a kid. Now, mind you, I'm like, what, 7 at this time? Yeah, 6, 7. No, I was 6, because October, and they had like birth lines then. I don't know if they still do that for like the education system or not, but they had like birth lines and things. So they really wanted to hold me back a grade. Like, they wanted to hold me back in first grade and do first grade over again, so I'll be with people like because of when I was born or whatever, and it's like, but it had nothing to do with my actual intelligence, because my actual intelligence would have put me 2 grades ahead, but they didn't. Like, where I'm from, they don't do that. Like, you know how there's like some schools, like especially I just watched, I think, a TV show the other day where the younger brother, I was like, more advanced, so he was like in the same class as the older brother. I'm like, you know what, we had like advanced classes, but they wouldn't just like bump you up the grade, they would just give you the advanced classes. I don't know why that's a thing, but that's really what was like a thing. And I mentioned all that to say that, like, I, as a little kid, I thought, okay, so these people really are stupid, because why would they not just like put me, get this shit over with? Like, let me get out of this fucking school, bump me up so I can be done faster. Like, I have a whole life. But that's another mindset that I had even as a little kid, and I think that's the thing I want to like talk to people about, because I was um, suicidal. Thoughts don't. Those thoughts don't just go away. They don't just go away. Um, so if anybody is like suffering with that, I'm just trying to. It's more, to me, the healing is more learning how to cope with them and diminish them as much as possible. But if your entire goal is to say that I will never feel this low about myself again, you might end up hurting yourself a little bit more, because I guarantee you, if something happens, that's going to be one of the first places that you go, because it's a place that you've been before. But you don't have to stay there. You don't have to honor that at all if you ever have those feelings. But from a young age, I had those like thoughts and feelings and things, because I was like, okay, so why am I here? When I was little, I asked, why am I here? And it kind of shocked me, because I have a friend who, she just started talking to me about that. Like, she's like, like lately I've been asking, like, what is this? Why is this way? This is that, like, asking like the questions of the universe that people call them. And it dawned on me, like, I really asked this from when I was like a little kid, because nothing made sense. Like, my mom and my granny used to make fun of me all the freaking time, because they would be like, you always used to just ask why. That's kind of like the last episode of this podcast. I was like really asking why for the politicians and stuff, because it, like, I'm telling you, psychologically, like, it pissed me off. But like, I always used to ask why. I always wanted to know the secrets of the universe. I always wanted to gain more knowledge. That's just been me. That's apparently what I'm born to do. I don't know, but that's the, like, I came out the womb and first started speaking. That's the first thing I started doing, was asking questions. What you got going on over there? Don't hide nothing from me, okay? So there was a mindset of, I don't even know. Like, I felt like I was just distorted when I was like a little kid. I felt like I was distorted, because here I am in this reality where I feel like I was completely and utterly misunderstood. Um, there's other things in my life. Like, I was adopted, so even like when I say that, like, my mother is in her 70s, I was adopted, so she was, well, older, but so it's like, it's a thing. And there's a whole bunch of things that come along with that I'm not going to talk about in this podcast episode. Maybe a different one, but not in this particular one. Point being is that I already felt displaced, right? I felt displaced and distorted. I felt like I was in the wrong place, and I felt like every time I spoke about being in the wrong place, they were like, actually, yeah, you are in the wrong place, but it's for a different reason. Like, yeah, you are in the wrong place. Like, I see you're this and this and this and this, and you're different. But, and they tried to make it, seem like it was a bad thing. And over the course of, life and stuff like that, I realized a lot of people do try to make something that they don't understand seem bad. And a lot of people do not understand intelligence. Shocker. Whatever. Like, people do not understand intelligence. I don't, it is what it is. But that led me to a mindset of thinking, okay, so no one's going to understand me anyway. Because when I first started speaking, like when I was younger, I first started speaking, I first started asking these questions, I realized I couldn't get the answers that I wanted from the people that were around me. I eventually just stopped asking anything. And then it became, I just stopped talking. And then it became just things like, it was like, when I first stopped talking, when I first stopped asking questions, I started to notice, I was like, okay, so let me just stop asking questions and see if I can fit in and, whatever. Not knowing, of course, because I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're listening to this, or if, you found this podcast some kind of way, or the video some kind of way. Hi, YouTube. I keep forgetting I have a YouTube thing. The Shadow Cast podcast on YouTube is the URL. I may have to change the actual channel to be that so it can match. I probably will do that. Anyway. Point being, after I stopped asking questions, I felt myself starting to conform. I felt it. I felt myself start to conform. I felt myself start to, you know, like, what, like, I felt myself start to stop asking people. But I still had the questions, but I couldn't ask anybody the questions. So there's a lot of things that just got buried and suppressed deep within. And I started to learn how to bottle stuff in from that young age because I asked a question. Or you know how like a kid asks a question and you be like, shut up. Just don't ask me anything. Don't speak. And like the kid, like, you know what I'm saying, like a little kid will hear that and they will not speak even when it's important. I was watching, y'all know I be trying to get news from all these different places and stuff like that, and there's, like, and I don't think that, oh, magically I'm gonna be the person to fix everything in life, but like clearly there's got to be something to be done if we still have, like, people touching little kids, people raping people shooting people, like, I've seen people go off on a ginormous tirade about how they can't put a piece of cloth over their face, like, for the mask. Like, when I go and I look at people and I see these are the people that are out here, not to say that, everybody is like that, because not everybody is like that, but there's more of those type of people than I would like for there to be, I guess I would say. And so I have to wonder to myself, what happened to them when they were younger? Like, I feel like I couldn't speak up. So for me, it's liberating now to, like, be able to say something, or to let something off of my chest, or to be mad, or to, like, But I guess I also question, like, because I could get that angle, but why be mad about some of that stuff? And then I'm trying to figure out the right words to say the stuff, y'all. I really am. And I'm also trying to find this little card because I want y'all to see this card here from this new deck I just got. It's the devil card. Y'all know I hold up the devil card on this podcast a couple of times to talk to you about different things. But this one literally had corruption on it. It was literally, yep, here it is right here. Corruption. So this is what is this, goddesses? the dark goddess tarot, literally the devil in the dark goddess tarot is corruption. That's the devil in this. It's so funny. Different cultures, different people, different things have different ideologies of what the devil is, what this big thing, what this thing that we all seem to be spiritually fighting in some way, shape, or form is. This one has corruption. I personally think it's depression. I think it's suppression. But all that comes from corruption because people have corrupted your mind to think that you need to suppress and depress yourself so that you can be whatever they need you to be, right? But then, as I grew up a little bit more, now mind you, this is still like elementary school. Like we have not left elementary school yet. This is like different, whatever spacey things you want to say came all when I'm already in elementary school. So elementary school came up and the victim mindset started. A lot of people know what that is already. If you don't know, it's where you make yourself the victim when everything happens. And it's like, a lot of the shit did happen to me. And I don't want to make it feel like people don't go through anything. But I feel like when I say victim complex or a victim mindset, it was, oh my God, everything keeps happening to me. Why me? Why does everything keep happening to me? And it's not even that things weren't happening to other people, and I did recognize that. But to me, it was like, why did it hurt so bad? Why do I have to be hurt so bad by this? Have I not already suffered enough? Now, mind you, I'm a kid, and I was like, why have I not already suffered enough? I already can't speak to people. I already cannot communicate with the other beings that exist on this planet. And now, not only can I not communicate with them, I feel like I can't like be around them because if I try to coexist with them, they start doing terrible things to me. I don't know if anybody's been bullied growing up. I wasn't bullied in the traditional sense. It was more of a mental, self-conscious bullying. And a lot of people being jealous of me for whatever reason, I don't know. Like, I still, like, I get it on a certain level because people wanted the material things that I had. I grew up in a house, we had a lot of material things. It was it. There was material things, not much love. Just material stuff. I saw all these people grow up, and I always wanted love. I didn't care about material things. That's the one, like, for me as a kid, that may not be the same thing for everybody. I don't know. I assume all people wanted love, and they were so busy like. I always felt backwards because the things that people were searching for, I already had, and the things that I was searching for, all these other people already have. It was commonplace for them to have the things that I wanted and for me to not have anything that I wanted, but for me to have everything that they wanted. So I always felt misbalanced, misguided, like everything was tilted. Everything was tilted in a direction where I suddenly turned into some like hate stick, right? That's the word I used, literally, was the hate stick. I'm trying to find the blend again so I can finish talking about this. Lord, help me. Felt like I was a hate stick. It was like people saw me being intelligent and sad and lonely because I couldn't have a conversation with anybody. Not like, oh, I wasn't allowed. Like, I really could. Like, I could never feel like I could find people who got me. So it always felt like, okay, so am I cursed? Because something is wrong here. I don't even say something is wrong, but if I can see everybody else getting along with everybody else and able to like easily have a conversation and express themselves, why is it that whenever I did it, I felt something weird, or I felt something bad, or I felt something like off, right? It's just because I'm different. That's just really what it is. It's just because I'm different. There are so many like little like bits and quirks. I only have like so long I can do a podcast episode on here. I really could probably do it longer. I just don't feel like I feel like probably like an hour is enough for me. But like sorry y'all. I have to take the pause so I can do this for myself. So hey. Um I always just felt like I was going to always be misunderstood. And I don't know how many people talk about the complex of the mindset that comes after the victim mindset. Because once you be in the victim mindset for so long, without anybody to talk to, or without anything to like, but without anyone understanding what it's like to be in a spot where you constantly feel like you're hurt, or you feel like something is hurting you, and it's not even that. You know, if people go through things, but if you, let me put it to you this way, okay? I didn't learn how to process my things. I just learned how to hold them in. And I tried my best to teach myself how to process things. And I'm telling you, it wasn't until I got to therapy I really had to learn how to like really like speak on them. It's hard to speak on things when you know how like people learn how to speak when they're babies, and they learn like Google Gaga or like Mama Dada or whatever. Like they learn those little things and like little speech patterns and things like that. Like so deeply ingrained is what can I and what can I not say. So ingrained, so deeply in that is what can I and what can I not say. Can I ask this question? And if I ask it, am I going to get a response that I want to hear, need to hear, or even a response I can even understand? Because I may not even be able to understand the response I'm given if I'm given one. It's like, you know what I mean? Everything can be. I guess I'll put it to you this way. I learned nuance as a little kid. So, like, strongly. I learned nuance as, like, a small child. And when a lot of people can't deal with, or seem to analyze what nuances is, or nuances are, I think that's grammatically correct. Anyway, whatever. That it's hard to like talk to them because I need nuance. Like I need to know what's going, because there's different things and I feel different ways about different things depending on what is going on. Not in a like, oh my gosh, you need to like, but it's like, inform me, please inform me of whatever you have going on. Like I want to hear what you all have going on, primarily because it's like I know what it's like to not be able to tell anybody what is going on with me. I know what that feels like, and it's not fun. If anything, that leads me, that's what I'm saying, from like the victim mindset. Like if you can't process them, and the way you learn how to process them is to talk about them. Oh, magical, right? But again, I couldn't talk to nobody, so I didn't learn that. It wasn't until I got to therapy that I even started to like have someone I can actually talk to. So it was like I had to, like, I really could like double down on really learning how to like say what I really do feel, or like where these different feelings in like nerve endings come from in your body. There's so much physical trauma that people build up, you know, just from mental and emotional abuse. There's physical effects that come from that. So after you, like, I shouldn't say after you, but like, for like this victim mindset, right? That's what people calling it, you know, where you always think you're the victim, and or you always feel like the victim. And there's some different sides to that, and I think a lot of people first go with it. Oh, like if you are like sometimes you are the victim, but you can't have a victim mindset even if you are the victim. And what I mean by that is like yes, if something could have specifically happened directly to you, but you can't like it's not that you can't feel targeted because yeah, you got to feel if you're being targeted, you got to feel targeted. But it's like you can't take it. It's like okay, so this is a day for me to learn something. And it's like it's almost like I feel like I was forced to have to think about it that way because nothing I did would end it. And again, this brings back when I talked about the suicidal thoughts and actions in the beginning of it. It was that you know nothing would end it. Not even me trying to no longer be on Earth it wouldn't end it. I don't want to trigger nobody by saying that or anything like that, but you know, apparently that's triggering. Like to like again, like I'm still in this like I don't know. I'm being honest though. Like I'm still in this bubble where it's like if I say something, is it wrong to say? Because it's been so wrong for me to say anything my entire life. I don't know what's right or wrong for me to say because I don't know if it's a right or wrong feeling to have in general. Because nobody wanted me to have or do anything. In fact, they wanted just to stop me. It's like every turn, even like as far as like school. Like it's like at every single turn you try and go down, someone slams the door in your fucking face. And after a while, you stop trying to open the door if a door keeps getting slammed in your face. You just stop trying to open it. You're like, okay, so, I mean, if I open it, it's just going to slam me right back in the face anyway. So why even try? Going from, like, and I went from the person who would try to open up the door and be friendly and this, and that, to being the person that would, like skittishly or scaredly, like, frightfully just open the door because I'm afraid of what I'm going to find back there. To being the person that is like, okay, so I know I'm supposed to open this door, and if I open, when I open this door, something's gonna happen to me because something has happened to me. Like, not out of 99 out of 100 doors, something has happened to me, so it's probably gonna happen to me in this one. You know what I mean? Like to having that. So I walk in the door already expecting something like terrible to have happened to me. And this is not like I know I did do insurance. This is not like insurance doors. This is like mental doors in my mind. Like questions I would ask. If I ask this question, what do I get? If I say this thing, what do I get? If I do this movement, what do I get? If I open this door and do something a little bit different, or do something that I think I'm supposed to do, or that I feel like, or if I just be who I am as a person, what do I get? And after it started being, I know something's going to happen to me when I open up this door, it next turned into, should I even open the door anyway? And just completely just giving up on just being there. Like, and this is so deep. I gave up in my mind. I don't know what the psychological or scientific word for that is, where I completely like left. Like I left. When I would look, like I feel like this is like a remnant for me. It's me trying to do this video of this podcast. Like I could, if I looked in the mirror, I would not see myself. I worked my like hardest to make sure I saw somebody else, something else, like anything but me, anything but Devonair, anything but the living shadow, anything but who I was as a person, because that's all I need. That's all I've I grew to see was people wanted anything but me. And I could not figure out why. Sorry, give me a moment. I don't like this last week. I don't know what like if I unlock something or the right door, but I usually do not cry. And this last week, I've actually like been able to produce tears. It's been like glorious. Like I've been thanking the heavens because, crying is cleansing. I want to cry, but like it doesn't normally happen for me. But it was a lot of why anything but me. Why can I not be loved for being myself? Why? The same question I had when it's like it was like I felt like I was born to ask that question sometimes. Like I really do. Sometimes I feel like I was born to ask the question why about everything. Sometimes I feel like I was born to like question everything. But then whenever I questioned everything, it was such a problem. It was like why is this a problem? Like it created a whole other question. Like it was an endless loop of like why is this not why is there so much hardship? Why is there this? Why is there that? Why is this? And then the answers I was getting just made me re-ask the question. It's like an endless loop. It just ugh. And it wasn't until like, and I kept dealing with different people. That's why when I get up on here, I'm talking about relationships and stuff like that. It was like from person to person to person to person to person to person to person. They all were just damn near the same. And it wasn't that they looked the same because they all look really different. I don't have like a physical type like that. I mean, I know a lot of people like think with like their genitals or whatever when it comes to like other people, but I was at the point where it was like I displaced myself from my own body because my mind was in such agony from not having anybody that I could speak to. So when I looked for people, I started to just look for someone who I could freaking speak to. And that's like I like you know what I mean? Like to me this is like the whole I'm gonna act like I don't like you to show that I like you is just is completely traumatizing to me. It is. I have to be honest with you. It is completely traumatizing. That entire approach is traumatizing to me. The I'm going to ignore you so that you notice me. Or I'm going to reject you so that you feel hurt. And I feel like that does work for people who have that big ego who think they should never be rejected for anything. Like that type of thing works for that person. But I'm trying to tell you all, there are lots of, I'm sure, and I do not wish this on anybody. Please, if you have kids, do not put them through the same shit I went through. But like, know that there are people out there who constantly get rejected. Constantly. Like, I get rejected for so much. It's not even funny. Like, it's not even funny. Like, and that's why I was trying to hold up that corruption card for like this corrupt system has rejected me for so many different things. It's such a like you get rejected so much like like I bring this up because I keep seeing like people with dating and stuff, right? Like I keep seeing like people with dating and doing stuff and they like I had somebody I knew who was like, oh yeah, well I went this other person, where I started talking to see if she was gonna be jealous. I'm like, why would you do that? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like to me as this person has been rejected constantly. You even trying to pretend that you would reject me makes like it brings out the beast. I'll just put it to you that way. It brings out the beast. Okay? Um like why would You know, like, and then even as that person who, I, even like, as this person who gets rejected all the time, I'm so used to it. I'm so used to it. It doesn't even. It's like it's almost turned itself into a superpower because they start. This is the mindset after you already know it's going to happen anyway, and it starts becoming I don't give a fuck. And I see so many people who are. I don't know if this is like a direct timeline of which people have to go through these like emotional challenges, but I start to see so many people who, especially like you see all these people quit their jobs. They don't give a fuck about them because the job didn't give a fuck about them. So they just don't give a fuck about that corporation, that job, whatever it was. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, so they quit. People wondering why people quit these jobs because they don't give a fuck. If you gave a fuck, you would give us a fucking living ass fucking wage. You would give us fucking 25 an hour. And yes, I'm saying 25 an hour as the fucking minimum. But like, you would act like you care. And these people, this is what I'm saying with this dating and stuff that I'm seeing is like, people are so afraid to act like they care. Why are people so afraid to show love? Why are people so afraid to show love? Why are people so afraid to speak love? Why are people so afraid? It's like, and it starts, this is starts the thing again where I have to keep asking why all these questions. It just starts. I want to know. But like, I legitimately want to know because I don't understand why in my life it was so hard for someone just to have a conversation with me. Why was it so hard? And now as I'm grown, it's like, these people want to talk to me, and they don't want me to speak. So again, we're not having a conversation. We're just having another like event session, which is fine. I do offer those spiritual coaching sessions. You can book one and invent and say whatever, and whatever. I'm not a licensed therapist, nor do I claim to be. I'm just gonna put that out there. But what I've like. It would drive me insane because it got to the point where I had to not give a fuck for my own sanity. Yes, for you guys who like are watching the video, the sound part of that, I do that literally for the sound. Because when I go play it back, I just want to hear like the big dramatic like. But you start not giving a fuck, right? At a certain point, you just start not giving a fuck. And I get it, and I speak all the time, but you gotta not give a fuck about the right things. But we also kind of have to collectively decide on what the right things are and aren't. We do, but like, we can't not give a fuck about people's feelings, though. We can't. That's like the one thing. That's the overall problem that we have right now. But it's like to what you know what I mean. Like, to what degree can we do something about it or not? Like, if you don't like my shirt, I don't give a fuck. You know. But like, when do we stop giving a fuck about somebody's health mentally and emotionally? Why did we stop? What about that like ended? When did this corruption in society start? Was it the capitalism? When did it start? Was it really the capitalism when people just started being industry and uniform and all this kind of stuff that we all just forgot and they started creating these corrupt corporations? Was that the beginning that told people that they aren't individuals anymore and they don't have thoughts and feelings and they can't like express themselves? Was that when this began? And there are some people who have lived a life where they were able to say and do whatever. They grew up in a loving home. I didn't. Not to like whatever be against y'all, but I'm trying to tell you what it sounds like from somebody who did not. And there's a lot of people who did not. And y'all are so focused on the people who have. And no offense to them. I'm sure they probably have issues too. But the people who did not, like, we don't even know what it's like to have one of those, like, to not have these problems. We don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be you. And to, you know, get up every day knowing that there's people around you who care about you. I don't. Because these people have shown me that they, like, I can't even say a word without it being a problem. I can't say just anything without it being a problem. I don't know why. Ugh. I feel like I'm hearing brain activity. Oh, Jesus. But after you stop giving a fuck, what, like, because I never fully, I feel like I've seen a lot of people who fully, completely just do not give a single flying fuck about anybody else besides themselves. They just turn completely cold, selfish, dark, and rotten. I've seen them. Especially if you're dealing with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I date gays, trans, I don't really care, to be honest. Can we have like a stimulating conversation? That's literally like these people. They sit there and they like, oh, I won't talk to you. I'm like, that's literally the only thing I need you for is to talk to. That's the only reason why you would be here, because Lord knows I cannot like. You know what I mean? Like, it's like dealing with people for anything else has been disappointing, and that's like the main thing I've wanted. So at this point, it's like I don't even want to deal with everything else because everything else is still disappointing. Like, if you cannot have a conversation, why are you here? If you cannot say something to me, why are you here? It's probably how I ended up with a damn Gemini for so goddamn long. They never shut up. Actually, I just had a realization about that, to be honest. That's probably why I was there. Because he would talk. That was the only reason why I was there. That's the only reason why I stayed. That's the reason why I stayed with a narcissist, or like bound or tied or whatever you want to call it. That was like the reason why I stayed bonded, because that was the only person that would talk to me. That was the only person that literally like would have a conversation. Like, I don't know if you guys know about like gay dating and things like that, but like guys do like, if women are complaining like guys are like don't talk to them, imagine two guys together, they just don't say anything and they're supposed to be together. I don't know how the fuck that works. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't add up to me. And this is why half of them single, because they don't want to fucking talk to each other. And then they get mad when they're single. Oh, bye. Like, I be looking at lesbians, they be talking about everything. I'm like, goddamn. They didn't told their whole life story on the last, like, on like 3 dates. Moved in after a month. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to be trying to find a lesbian. How the fuck y'all be having a conversation about every goddamn thing? Like, y'all really be trying to get to know each other, though. I like that, though. I do. There is an acceptance there, though. I feel there's an acceptance of that women have that men are not allowed to have. Whereas, like, men don't like are not supposed to be able to speak in a sense, right? That's the way that's the way you whatever way they wanted men to be. These like don't get me wrong, I like feminism. I want to identify as a feminist, but because of the things and the underlying motives I've seen behind a lot of people who claim the title, it's hard for me to claim the title. Because I see a lot of people who claim to be feminists who just they don't want to allow a man or a masculine to be emotionally intelligent or emotionally active. And so many times women talk about how they feel like they're objectified. Men are too. But you say, oh, you're supposed to fucking accept that. You know what I mean? Like you're just there for a dick. You're just like, you know what I mean? Like let me go get the vibrator. That's the only thing you were here for, was to do that, and you didn't even do that. I know, I've done it to people. I'm not even gonna try and front with you because again, I could not. They don't even have a conversation. That's the only thing that they try to do. That's literally the only, like, y'all talking about guys only want one thing. That's the only thing y'all say they're good for. So how, like, there's two sides to all these different stories. Or there's probably even more than two. A lot of people think there's only just two. I 100% believe in a gray area. I don't believe everything is black and white. I 100% believe in the gray area. I believe in nuance. I believe that there's various different bits and bobs and pieces and different thoughts and feelings to different things, and that we're all different people. We all want to believe that, like, so many people want to believe that we're so connected, and we are connected, but we're also individuals. We're all here for a reason. We all have individual purposes. We all have individual goals. We all have individual life paths. We all do. We all were put here for a reason. And I realized my reason because for so long it felt like I didn't have one. And it seemed to be the entire time. What I found out is the entire time my reason was to do the things that everybody kept trying to stop me from doing. Because they change things, and these people do not like change. Me asking that question can change something. If you, like, investigate things, things can be changed. Knowledge really is power. They speak about that all the time. But they, like, if you're trying to get the knowledge, if someone gets so offended if they don't have it. It's okay if you don't have it. I don't have it either. That's why I'm asking you. If we both don't have it, then let's both look it up. Let's both learn something. Let's both succeed. Let's both prosper. What I've come to find out is that like, my purpose is to be the one to tell people, yes, we should do that together, collectively. That's the thing that we should be connected on. We should be connected on finding out and solving these issues and problems and curses and generational issues and historic lessons that we need to, you know, I don't want to say, like, we need to be, like, you know, if we see these mistakes, we need to, like, end them. Slice them. Cut them off. If we see these toxic patterns, we need to cut them off. And we also need to see if we have our own toxic patterns, traits, or behaviors. Because I'm telling you, I just told you I had some. Still probably got some to some people, depending on who it is. But I have to be who I am. And the people who do not find me toxic will find me. And the people who do will leave. And that's the same thing for everybody. We will all naturally find our own groups. We will all naturally find our own people to gravitate toward. If we be who we are, and we allow ourselves to be who we were born to be, who we were meant to be, then we can finally like allow ourselves to be free. If we can just show ourselves the same caring and understanding and love and attention that you seek from somebody else, or you seek from somebody else, your parents, it could be a lover, it could be, like a boss, it could be, you know what I'm saying, like, once you stop asking or begging or like needing these people to recognize you. And for me, it was the hard way, because these people still don't recognize me. They just don't. They still don't. Like, they still don't. You know what I mean? Like, they don't appreciate me. They don't give me any attention. That's why I'm the living shadow. I'm hidden. Like, I'm here. I'm doing the stuff, but does anybody really ever see me? No. And it's so funny because all these people who like my energy, all these people who seem to like really love this energy and want this life, for all the people who want to be seen, and it's like, oh, you want this life, you're never going to be seen. That's the entire point of my life, is that I'm never seen or cared about or loved. That's it. Like, I would love if people actually like gave a fuck about me, but it's been shown over and over again that this is not the case. Like, if you want this life, you're talking about everybody must love you. Like, no, they don't. They don't do anything. They don't even say a word. It's like they've been silenced. I don't know. And then when I ask the questions, no one has an answer either. You ever seen the teacher walk in the room? And this is maybe because, I grew up in a family of teachers, but like, you ever see the teacher walk in the room and like slam down like the whiteboard or whatever, or the chalkboard or whatever they do, and they just like bust out with a question, and everybody in the class is like sitting there, pin drop silent? I feel like that's me whenever I do anything. Like, whenever I ask anything, it's just always like, like, there's no wrong answers here. Just say something, please. Then I start asking, but it perpetuates me asking more, and that intense hunger for knowledge. I know that I have, especially in understanding a person, scares people because they don't want to. They haven't taken the time to understand themselves. But me being the person I am, because and people come to me to understand them, because I've understood myself so well, because I've had to. No one else would allow me to do that. I was forced to do it. I had to. I had to be like, and ask myself these questions, because I couldn't ask anybody else. Nobody else would answer me, even give me an answer. Or if they give me an answer, they give me the same robotic answer. And I'm like, okay, so why am I getting the same answer for everything? What's this program? I missed this class. I missed this, like, it was not even about like me trying to stop it. It was me feeling like I missed out. FOMO. Fear of missing out. I felt like I already had missed out. Like, when people watch, whatever, these movies, I feel like I missed out on the cultural event. I missed the wavelength, and I got to a point. Well, actually, I'm still at this point, to be honest. I'm at the point now where I don't care if I missed it. I don't care. I'm on the wavelength that I like. Let me chill on it. Because after all of this time of trying to hop over to all these different wavelengths to try and catch up with this and that and this and that, so that I could, whatever, try and talk to this person, that person, or understand what was going on here or there, or anything else like that, it has me coming to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to try anymore. And it's the giving up a little bit again. But I feel like I'm giving up on a different thing. It's like I'm giving up on trying to do this stuff so that I can understand what it's like over here in this area, or to be this person, or to, live this life. And more of like going towards, okay, so what can I do? Really, what can I do? What abilities do I have? Like, I think about like how we have like, it's like, what can I look like? Customize your avatar. Or like, let's see people with like the body modification surgeries. Like, I get it. You want to look like the thing you see in your mind. You wanna be the person you envision yourself being. It's not a matter of, it's being who you are on the inside and letting it be outside. No matter how weird or freaky or just like different it is, like letting it be known who you are, for better or for worse. Because some of these people out here, like I was talking to you about the raging people with the mask and stuff. To me, I don't understand it. I don't get it. To me, that's part of the worst side. But I mean, they still should be able to like expunge their anger some kind of way, I guess. I don't know, y'all. This is just my journey. I'm trying to let y'all know there's different mindsets and there's different doors, and it's tiresome as it is to keep trying to open up all these different doors and to get rejected over and over and over and over and over. Go unheard over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. To go unnoticed, unappreciated, and unloved over and over and over and over and over again from everybody. You still have to try, because you don't know what's on the other side of any one of those doors. You really don't. Even if you still do get hurt by it, you still learn something. And if we can remember the things that we learned and actually process them instead of being silent and just feel it out and just process it, maybe we can finally break these curses for good. Maybe they can finally be broken. Maybe we can finally be done with this shit. Maybe we can finally be done with the corruption. Maybe we can finally just be done with it all. We just let everybody just say whatever the hell is really going on. Like, everybody just speak their absolute 100% genuine, God honest truth. Just speak it all right now. Just let everybody know what's going on. Release the veil, lift the shadows, break the clouds. Let the light shine in. Let the truth shine in. And just let the pieces fall where they may. Because you have a better chance of picking them up and moving on than you do from living in fear of breaking it in the first place. There's more peace in that and just breaking it. And I know that sounds terrible, and I don't need anybody to like break up their house or nothing, but like, there are rage rooms, try and do something, kind of whatever, but it's like, you have to break the shell. You gotta break the shell. You can't just hide in it and think that it's all just gonna be okay. We have literally Armageddon right now. Armageddon. I'm not even saying climate change anymore. I'm just gonna straight up and say Armageddon. The world's ending. Look at the research. Florida will probably not even be here in 20, 30 years. So we literally do not have time for petty shit and to not be ourselves and to not be authentic. Just go and be authentic and be as happy as you possibly can, please. I wish that for all of you. Bye, y'all. I don't even know what I'm gonna... Oh, my healing journey. My healing journey. I can even spell journey. Let me get the little heart thing. Here we go. Thank y'all for watching. Really, thank you all for watching. For those of you who do watch, thank you. For those of you who do like, thank you. For those of you who do comment, thank you. For those of you who do donate, thank you. For those of you who do show support, thank you. For those of you who say something, thank you. Oh, thank you. Be blessed, y'all. Really, be blessed.